All right, Algebra 1, Lesson 6.7. It's a pretty easy lesson, okay? It is box and whisker plots. It's a little bit of a shorter lesson too, okay? It kind of goes along with the stem and leaf plot and the mean, median, and mode that we did last week, okay? So, a box and whisker plot is simply a way to display data, okay? Kind of shows you how it's spread out and how it's grouped together, okay? So for a box and whisker plot, you essentially need 5 data points from the data that you're given. You're going to need a median, and it's going to be referred to as your second quartile. Okay, so if we look at the word quartile, it looks like it has quarter in it. Okay, quarter means into 4. So you're going to see how a box and whiskers plot is split into 4 areas. Okay, so the median is going to divide your data into 2 halves. Okay, so then you have your middle. So you have your lower half and an upper half. So then you find your first quartile, which is the median of the lower. Remember, median is middle, okay? And then your third quartile, which is the median of the upper half. Okay? That's really all you have to find for a box and whisker plot. To graph it, you need 5 data points, like I said. The first is, first you plot using like a number line, okay? The second quartile, which is your median. Then you plot your first quartile and your third quartile. Around these 4, you're putting a box. Okay, so a box and whisker plot looks something like this. So this line here represents that first quartile. This is the second, and this line is the third. So that becomes your box. Then your whiskers go from your first to your lowest number. And the other whisker goes from your third to your largest number. Okay, so you use those 5 points: the second quartile, the first quartile, the third quartile, the smallest, and the biggest number. Okay. All right. So I'm going to use the data 39, 32, 27, 42, 21, 35, and 38. Okay, so you have to find your first, second, third quartiles, your smallest and your biggest number. So arrange in order. Okay, from the smallest to the biggest. So it's going to be 21, 27, 32, 35, 38, 39, 42. Okay. Then you're going to find the second quartile. So that's the median, the middle number, okay? So in your list, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So that means you're going to have 3 above and 3 below. So there's 1, 2, 3. So 35 is your second quartile. Okay, so here's the middle. This is your lower half and your upper half. So then to get your first quartile, you're doing the median of the lower half. So we're looking at these three numbers. So 1 and 1. So the middle is 27. Okay. Then you find your third quartile. It's the median of the upper half. So three numbers again. So 39 is the middle. Okay. And then we're going to do the low and the high. The low is 21 and the high is 42. Okay? So to draw your box and whisker plot, you're going to draw a number line. I suggest putting it either above or below the number line. Sometimes people draw it on the number line. I think it's a little harder to see that way, but as long as it's marked. Okay, so I have my number line. It needs to go from 21 to 42. So I'm going to say 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So I'm going to count by fives. Hopefully space them out evenly. Okay, then 21 is just after 20. So right about here is 21. Okay, second quartile first is 35. So I'm going to go right here. And I know that's a line. Okay? Then go to the first quartile, which is 27. And I make another line. And the third quartile is at 39. So I make another line because that's the quartiles. So they form my box. Okay, and then the whiskers I'm connecting to the low, so 21, and then to the high is 42, which is right about there. Okay, and then the book does have you labeling it, so it would be 21, 27, 35, 39, and 42. Okay? Just so you know exactly where those numbers are. Okay? So that's a box and whisker plot. If you had one more number here, so just going through a list like, that was what, 7 numbers we said? Yeah, so if I have a list of 8 numbers, so say 10, 12, 13, 14, 19, okay, that's 8 numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You go to take the median, right? And the median is the middle. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So the median is in between 13 and 14. So I add them together and divide by 2. So I get my median is 13.5. So that is your first or your second quartile. These all then are my lower half because they're all lower than the middle. Okay? Up here I did not include 35 with the lower half because it's the middle. But I'm including 13 with the lower half because it's not the middle. Then you find the middle of these. So 1, 2, so the middle is here between 10 and 12. That's my first quartile, my second quartile, and then my third is between 19 and 20. So you add them and divide by 2. Okay? And then you're still your lower and your upper numbers. Okay? So that is box and whisker plots, just a way to organize your data and display it. A box and its whiskers, the 2 lines.